Welcome to this special episode of The Lenses of Voltaic Blood. So I have here these two lenses, and then this guy over here, which I'm going to show later. The look of the film is very important, being that it's cyberpunk, being that it's kind of retro, and I wanted to give a kind of vintage look to it more than just post-production and filters and things you can do in post-production with the color correction, but I wanted to be out of the camera, having that kind of vintage look, and for that you need some vintage lenses. We're going to start with this lens. Is actually called a Helios 44-2. It's not super wide. It's not super focused. It's just kind of in the middle. Because we're a low budget film and we're running around trying to shoot 100 shots a day, I pretty much stayed with this lens for probably 90% of the film. This Helios 44-2 is actually an old Soviet lens. It's quite famous. Some of the Soviet lenses were knockoffs of the Carl Zeiss German lenses, which are more pristine, more perfect. But these Soviet lenses have a lot of more character to them, texture, kind of imperfection that gives it more character. And so I wanted to get that for Voltaic Blood for sure. It needed a lot of visual character. So I actually was planning on using a lot more things, a lot more lenses and filters and play with things. But, once you got on set and once you got to production, it was just, you have to try to get as much done as quickly as possible, as efficiently as possible. Less room to play and experiment, but hopefully in the future, you'll see a lot more risk taking, a lot more interesting visuals coming from this show as I develop the look and as I kind of explore and play with different tools. So this 44-2 is mostly the lens behind Voltaic Blood. Now there's also this lens. It's a Pentacon 29, so it's a little bit wider when I really needed to go wider and get a lot more of the scene. For example, when Michael enters with the gun, into the Raven looking for Valeria, you can actually spot it when I use it. It has a little imperfection, and it's a little red dot. For some reason, it always reflects the red color. It's a little lens aberration. I call it the red teardrop or the blood drop. But basically, when you see that means I was using this lens. But it only happened for about 5% of the shots, I think. I didn't use it that much. And then the next thing, this kind of the secret weapon. So yes, it's called the probe lens. It's a 24 millimeter lens. Whoa. So this is for shooting miniatures and for shooting those really close-up shots of details that I needed. For example, the Venus flytraps, the blood on the motherboard, and the drops of blood were done with this. So this is for when you need like a really detailed close-up of something small. It's called a macro probe lens. But I mainly got it for miniatures, and then I ended up using it for quite a few things. We just ended up doing these buildings. But in the future, if we have more of the cityscape with the buildings, this will be super helpful. Because the tricky thing with miniatures is keeping everything in focus so that it looks like it's huge. So this lens is what allows that. So I hope you have enjoyed this episode of Lenses of Voltaic Blood. And please stay tuned for what's coming up next. This is a brand new project. The visuals are still coming along, there's a lot of room to grow and expand and experiment with. So I'm excited to go into this journey with you. So stay tuned and support Voltaic Blood.